good evening, and welcome to the Positional Sports Talk Show Post. Live streaming on Facebook Live, Twitch, and our Positional Sports Talk Show YouTube channel. We are a sports talk show made for the fans, from the perspective of fans, presented by lifelong sports fans. We will provide our opinions and positions on the hottest topics in sports this evening. My name is Big Reg. I'm joined in the studio by my man Ed back in the building. It is so good to be able to have people in the home studio. And then, back in the flesh, after a trip up north, we got J3 back in the building. What's up, my brother?
What's up? Glad to be back. How's everybody doing? Let's get it in.
Welcome back.
Man, we are glad to have you back. We missed you, even though we know you was handling things for our country, so we appreciate you, my brother.
Absolutely.
We got the man, the professor, who's been in the background most of the month handling things while he keeps doing what he needs to do. So Professor will pop in later on in the show. So we're going to get it cracking. This evening, we will talk NBA playoffs, combat sports, NHL playoffs, and they are on fire. Some other topics that caught our attention, our post takes, and of course our final post of the evening. As always, we appreciate you tuning in, so sit back, relax, and enjoy post on the Positional Sports Talk Show channel. So fellas, it's play-in time. Really? You gonna start already?
Well, the thing is, I thought it was necessary last year because of the interruption in the season and what have you. And even though the season, this season has been shortened by, I believe, 10 games.
Yep.
I still don't see the need for it. Like, I know it was like an experiment last time, but I just don't understand the need for it this year.
Yes, you do.
Uh-oh.
Hey, yes, you do. Come on, man. You know what it's about.
I'm trying to keep the glass half full, J3.
Hey, man,
I'm not going to mention money because we know that's what it's about.
But that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And you giving these other teams an opportunity to make some money, and because they ain't gonna they wouldn't have made the playoffs if they did the regular schedule. So gives them opportunity to play a little longer.
Okay, but do you think it's fair that they battle for 72 games, and it's been a topsy-turvy year as far, and let's just besides the injuries, let's just deal with the COVID situation. So it's been a topsy-turvy situation as far as the regular season is concerned. And so now, take, for instance, I believe the Lakers are going in, they're a 7th seed, right? They play later on this evening. They're a 7th seed.
Play tomorrow, but go ahead.
Oh, tomorrow? I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. They're a 7th seed, and I believe they play Golden State.
Yep.
So if they play Golden State, which is, I think, a 10th seed, right?
8 seed.
8 seed?
Yeah. See.
But
7 and 8 play.
Okay.
The winner of that is the 7th seed. Done. They done.
Okay, so that's how I got it mixed up with
the loser plays the winner of the 9th, 10th seed. So if you were in the 7th or 8th seed, you've basically got 2 chances to still remain in the playoffs. Here's the reason why they did this.
But what's the purpose of this? The 10th seed, the 9th seed, even having an opportunity to make the playoffs?
Here's the reason why they did this.
Okay.
Money, yeah. There's going to be a total of 6 games played, extra games that wouldn't get played. So they're making extra money off this. Mm-hmm. But the real reason was competitive balance for almost the entire season. You've had teams from 3 to 10 had to keep playing their players to the end of the season because seeding mattered.
Okay.
Which should have been like that all along, though.
No, because most of the time what you would have is you've got 3, 4, 5, and 6 making sure they stay in those slots. Where previously you had teams that were like, we don't care where we fall in the seeding. We know we in. 9 and 10 ain't gonna catch us, so we know we one of the seeds. We just worry about this. So now you had to have teams like the Clippers, with the exception of the last 2 games, and we'll talk about them shortly.
Okay.
Have to play players that they may not have normally played to make sure they stay in that top 6. And then you had the 7th and 8th seed who could have coasted at the end of the year having to continue to play because they don't want to be the 9th and 10th seed. And then you even got the 11th and 12th seed. So you have more teams involved in the playoff crunch all the way through the end of the season. Because if y'all remember previous season, you have teams, you wouldn't see, most of these players wouldn't play in the last week of the season because everything was locked up and they knew they could only fall so far.
Right, but so in most seasons, look, I like I said, I get and that was a very good explanation because I really didn't 100% understand it. But last year, that's okay. This year, look, why change it? Because J3 is right. Because
it's all about the money.
Yeah, J3 is right. I can't, the competitive balance and whatnot and making sure sometimes it's good. You need this, like for instance, the Lakers. The Lakers are in a position where now they've slipped through no fault of their own, through injury. They've slipped to the 7th seed. No, I'm sorry.
They're the 7th seed.
The 7th seed, right? Yeah. So if they've slipped to the 7th seed.
Oh.
So if they slipped to the 7th seed, they didn't have an opportunity necessarily to rest, say, LeBron. He might not be playing at 100% maximum because
that's part of the game. Injuries are part of the game.
I know, but it's never been like this before.
It's a change.
It is a change.
Everybody gotta get used to.
I don't necessarily.
Not everybody likes it.
But hold up. So tell me if I'm getting this wrong or not. But don't you put your uniform on to compete every game, and you're there to win every game? Am I missing something?
No, but J3 you can't.
That's how you think, J3. Organizations, teams, and individual players don't go to win every game.
That's some bull. Then what you paying to see them for then? What you paying to see them for? What's the purpose?
I just don't. I think you cheapen for the last particular the lower seeded teams as far as the playoffs are concerned. You're cheapening the regular season by doing this because I mean normally the 10th seeds. Now this particular year, I'm glad that it's like this because I do want to see the Wizards get in. I mean I actually wanted to see them make it to the playoffs, the real playoffs because they're calling this the playoffs, but it's not really the playoffs. But normally, I can't get behind this. You're cheapening the regular season.
I like it, and I think it'll grow on you. It's just like the NFL when they added the extra wild card team. They're like, "Well, you done played all the 16 games. Why you need adding the extra layer of possibility to get an extra team or two into the postseason?" Keeps more and get money,
right?
Revenue, TVs, more TVs that are on in these low market cities, the more they can charge for advertising. So everything comes down to revenue, but you also keep more people engaged.
But here's the difference between the NFL and the NBA. The difference between the NBA and the NFL is that you can see a wild card team becoming healthy and running the table. I don't care how healthy. Well, the Lakers are kind of different. Let's take the Lakers out of this equation. But normally, the regular 7th or 8th seed is not going to run the table and win the NBA championship.
I agree because they got to play 7 games. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the teams that are in the playoffs, in the play-in tournament. Right now, Charlotte Hornets are losing to the Indiana Pacers. Pacers are up 19, 49-30. This is a shock to me because I thought that Indiana would have some issues because their second leading scorer, Karis LeVert, unfortunately popped today. He's out for 10 to 14 days due to health and safety protocol. So he's not going to not only play tonight, he ain't going to play if they make it into the play-in, into the regular full playoffs. He's going to miss the whole first series because in 2 weeks that's going to happen.
Is this COVID related?
Yeah.
Well, I thought we don't have to wear a mask indoors.
Yeah, that's a different show. But
you're
right about that.
You're
right about that.
I'm back.
You're right about that.
So, get well, Mr. LeVert.
So the young Hornets, led by Terry Rozier and LaMelo Ball, look like they may not be ready for prime time. But it's only the second quarter, so they got a chance maybe to make a run. Do you think they can make this 17 points up.
Well, I'm surprised. I actually, like, when I first walked in, I was like, oh, that's not even going to be a game. And then I focused on the TV, and I was like, oh, okay, it is a game. But I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. Rozier has playoff experience. He's not right. He was with the Celtics when they were making runs, when his teammate was hurt. Wait a minute. Where is his teammate? What's the guy's name? The signed the big contract in Charlotte.
Oh, you talking about
gosh.
The guy that Gordon Hayward.
Hey, where's he at?
Injured again.
Probably hurt. Probably hurt.
Injured again.
That's where he stays, on the sideline.
But
he more on the sideline than
he collect big checks though.
Yeah,
he collect big checks.
Well, lucky he doesn't play in the NFL.
Yeah, guaranteed checks, absolutely. Yeah. So we will see. The second game, so you got the Eastern Conference plays tonight. So the first games are 9-10, and then the primetime games are going to be 7-8. The second game, the Washington Wizards actually went from near the bottom of the league to trying to get a 10th seed. They ended in the 8th spot.
Yeah, because of Russell Westbrook, who gets no mention as far as MVP. And if quiet is kept, Russell Westbrook balled this year.
Yeah, the second half of the season.
Yeah, well,
first half of the season, he was hurt, injured and stuff and all that.
Right.
Second half of the season, he came back. I give it to him. He did everything in more.
Right.
And he turned that team around.
Yes.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
No credit, though.
So, they got Boston tonight at 9 o'clock. Both games on TNT if you want to check out the games. Do you think the surging Wizards can fend off the injury-riddled Celtics? Because, without Jaylen Brown,
I don't see it happening. I don't see Jaylen.
I just can't see the Celtics beating the Wizards if Bradley Beal can play. Because Bradley Beal played on that bad hamstring, and he admitted he probably shouldn't have played, and it's not right. So,
well, it all depends on how hungry he is to go deep in the playoffs. This is do or die right about now. So you either gonna step up or you gonna sit to the wayside. What you gonna do, Bradley?
Yeah, if the winner of the 7-8 wins, they get the 7th seed. They don't play again until Saturday, so they get a couple of days off to heal up.
I actually think the Wizards can do it without Beal because let's like we mentioned when you started mentioning the Wizards. As long as Russell Westbrook is healthy, even at 80% Beal, just shoot. All you gotta do is shoot jump shots. How is that difficult? I don't know. I'm not a pro, obviously, but that's all he has to do is sit out there on the 3-point line. Russell gonna go hard to the hole.
Yeah, he got to play a little bit. Got to play a little defense.
Well,
got to play defense.
Yeah.
Not that he's known for doing much of that, but we're gonna leave that.
I still like the Wizards.
Yeah, I think the Wizards should be able to win this.
Scott Brooks might save his job. How in the world?
No, Russell Westbrook saved Scott Brooks' job because he was on the verge of being fired. And Russell got
slow down, y'all. Slow down, y'all. They ain't did nothing yet. Let's see the outcome first. Slow down.
But J3, even if they lose, considering where they were and historically where they've been the most, the last several years, I think this is a win-win. Even if they fall short, I think this is a win-win.
I agree because I wasn't a Scott Brooks fan at all. I kind of upset that he came to the Wizards. So I agree. But it would be nice if they get a little deep.
I'm still not a Scott Brooks fan, but I think they don't want to upset Westbrook so that he start demanding another trade. So I think if they can keep his man, that might be good for him. Tomorrow night, we got the Western Conference playing games. The first game, 7:30 p.m. ESPN. We got the San Antonio Spurs against the Memphis Grizzlies. Can old man DeMar DeRozan, Rudy Gay, and Patty Mills get those the rest of that young team in San Antonio together to get enough gumption up to deal with John Morant, Dylan Brooks, and the rounding into shape Jaren Jackson?
Yeah, but how Jaren Jackson, I think, would be the key to that series because, that game is because how healthy is he?
He's been looking decent. This will be like his 10th game back.
Well, I still like... the thing is,
Don't sleep on Memphis. Don't sleep on Memphis.
No, but they kind of play like each other. I mean, Memphis plays hard. You know, any Popovich coach team is going to play hard. I like DeMar, Rudy, and Patty though. I like the veteran leadership on that team. In addition to Coach.
Yeah, the question is Ja ready to take that step and lead a team?
I think he is. I mean, I truly believe he is. Again, his teammates have to show up because he gonna give you his all. Trust and believe. He step on that court, he going from toe to toe, and he ain't stopping until the buzzer ends. So his teammates got to show up.
I feel you. I think what Golden State did to him this past weekend in the final game of the season, they were daring him to shoot threes.
He's not. That's not his game, though.
So that I think if anybody watched that, it's like, oh, okay, we just can't let Ja get ahead of steam. Go ahead and shoot that three, Ja. And if that doesn't mess with his head, because you know sometimes that mess with players' heads.
Well,
they give me wide open shots. So I would love to see Memphis win that game, but them three old veterans, they didn't see many a good playoff series.
Yeah.
Yep, real talk. Now, if the club was with the Spurs, it wouldn't even be a question. Hands down.
Oh, they wouldn't be in the playoff if he was still in.
Well, yeah.
And then the game everybody's waiting for. 7 against 8. LA Lakers against Golden State Warriors.
Wow.
Can Steph, who been dropping bombs on everybody, can he drop 40 or 50 on the Lakers and pull off an upset?
That all depends on what his teammates does as well. I mean, because you already know they're going to try to double, if not triple team him. So they need to be ready for that pass.
The game, look, this isn't even about what Steph Curry is going to do, because Steph Curry is going to get 30 points, 30 to 40 points. He's going to wake up and give you that. The issue is LeBron healthy?
He says he's healthy.
So this has been load management? Like, hiding, I mean, you think this injury has been a little overblown? I don't think so.
No, I think when he came back, he was feeling a little pain. If there had been a playoffs, he'd have kept playing. But cooler heads prevailed. Cooler heads prevailed, and they said, look, if you're feeling any soreness, just sit it out. And he gave it a few more days, so...
I don't think LeBron's going to go out like that. I think the Lakers are a better team.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they're a better team. And
I agree, because it's Steph and Draymond. And
Draymond, stop.
Only because Clay ain't with him.
I'm going to give you some stats.
Hold on.
Later. I'm going to give you some stats.
You mean some Draymond stats?
Draymond been doing this thing this year.
Oh, my God. Okay. Okay.
He always steps up during the playoffs. Trust me what I tell you.
Okay.
Not only on the defensive end, Draymond is like 6th in the league in assists. You do realize that?
I mean, someone got to get the ball to Steph. I mean, somebody got to. You know.
That's funny. A funny story though. Sunday. Was it Sunday? Sunday or Saturday? Whatever they played Memphis for the last game. Dylan Brooks was guarding Steph. And Steph had an off first quarter. I think he only had 6 points. Nice. Missed like his first... he was 1 for 5 from 3. And Dylan Brooks started talking trash to
I knew
Steph.
you was going to say that.
He started talking trash to Steph.
Who is Dylan Brooks?
Right.
Dylan Brooks is a nice guard from Oregon. He's a nice player.
I know who he plays for, but who is he? I mean, is he
Steph?
Somebody who want to eat his words.
Steph ended up with 46, and after midway through the third quarter, he said, "This dude got a nerve to be talking trash to me."
That's ridiculous. He should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah. So
who's talk stuff to Steph?
Dylan was feeling it. He was feeling. Then he ended up fouling out after he talked trash, and then Steph continued to bond. So you got Lakers. You think Lakers?
Definitely.
Who you got? J3. Lakers, Golden State.
Come on, man. You know I'm going with the Warriors. Stop playing with me.
You going with the Warriors? So you got the
Absolutely.
Lakers losing to the Warriors. So
Yep.
do y'all think the loser of that game will beat the winner of the Spurs or the Grizzlies?
The loser.
The loser of that game will get the Spurs or the Grizzlies on Friday for the eighth seed.
Oh, the loser will win.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we both think the Lakers and Golden State will end up.
Yes.
Same with you, partner?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Back to the East. Will a loser of the Wizards Boston be able to beat, it looks like, Indiana, based on what's going on in this game right now?
It all depends on what Wizards team shows up. I mean, if they play like they want to win, they can beat Indiana.
Well,
I think the Wizards going to beat Boston.
yeah, I think they're going to beat Boston too. But I got to see Boston play. I want to see how they compete against against Washington.
I feel you.
So then after that, I'll make my assessment, because right now you know Jason Tatum going to show up, and Marcus Smart, he'll show up.
Unless you get in his head, you gotta get in his head. Get in his head so he can foul out. You do that, then that'll eliminate one of their players.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, I can't see any of these 9-10 seeds knocking off. If Boston loses and Boston looks bad, Boston, that's possible. That's possible. That is possible.
I'm trying to figure out how much power, or who gives Danny Ainge his power in Boston, because Boston's been on a decline for the last 4 years, and it doesn't seem like it's going to end. And the Jaylen Brown injury obviously doesn't help anything, but that's not necessarily an excuse, because it seems like he's got less talent, and Brad Stevens is never held accountable for anything. I just think I'm curious to see if it all blows up this year, how that's going to actually work out.
Well, the question is, do you think it's the coach, or do you think it's the way they put the teams together? Because I think a lot of people are actually putting this on Danny Ainge. He had a couple opportunities to try to trade for big-time players, and he wouldn't give away any of their future draft picks or Tatum or Brown when they were trying to get a superstar.
Well, I think Tatum is a superstar. Well, he's a
Both
star.
of them are.
I think Brown is the star of that team.
Oh yeah.
I think Brown's the leader. Brown's the more consistent one. Tatum's the better scorer.
I think Brown is that junkyard dog, though.
Yeah, Tatum's the better scorer, but I think Brown is the actual engine that makes that team run.
Well, let's think about this. Think about this real quick. Before they had Kyrie Irving, right? They were actually winning games. You had Gordon Hayward, you had Jaylen Brown, and then you had Jason Tatum. Those three right there were the nucleus of their team. Then they got rid of Kyrie Irving, and then they brought in Kemba Walker. Again, when those three are on the floor, they can produce. But the problem is injuries. That's the only problem. It's not the coaching, and it's not the drafts. It's the players staying healthy.
I hear you. I think if they lose to the Wizards, and if they mess around and lose the game against the 9th, 10th seed winner and miss the playoffs, some heads going to have to roll in Boston, because Boston won't. And I think it might be Danny Ainge this time, because they'd be like, you built these teams. We're not sure if it's the coach, but yeah, he has some opportunities. It's going to be interesting. But let's talk about the real playoffs. The real playoffs start Saturday. Philly won the number 1 seed in the East. Brooklyn's the number 2 seed. They will figure out who they're going to play. The 3-6 matchup in the East is interesting to me. Milwaukee Bucks against the Miami Heat again. Miami Heat took the Bucks out last year. Miami Heat tend to play the Bucks better than anybody else, especially Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they do have a holiday now in Milwaukee. I think it's a difference. But Miami been hot lately. I think Miami could knock the Bucks off again.
Well, if you can recall, if memory serves me right, I picked Miami actually in the East. But the only concern I had was that controlled environment of the bubble in Orlando. Was that, did that contribute or help Miami along, because they're such a structured team and they're young.
Right.
So I thought they were a little disappointing, but like you said, they're coming on late and they ended up as the 6th seed. I'm gonna stay. I can't go. I mean, I picked Miami at the beginning. I can't change my pick. The interesting team is the Nets. I don't know if we're going to get into that. That's the interesting team with Kyrie. I mean,
Kyrie may walk away tomorrow based on the way he's talking.
There's more important things, and he's right. He's right. There are more important things in life than basketball, but
he can pay $30 million to do that.
Right. Exactly. Right. Exactly. I just think Kyrie. I think he's reached a point where, in life, as far as his success, the numbers look right in his bank account. I just think that he's that type of dude that, he has other interests that, doesn't include basketball, but those guaranteed contracts, he could do the minimum and get the most. So I'm looking forward to it. That's the interesting thing. I want to see how the Nets progress through this playoffs.
Yeah,
Can we go back to the Miami game real quick?
Oh,
yes, sir.
Sorry.
So I'm thinking that even though the Bucks added Holiday, like you said, I still don't think it's going to be enough firepower against Miami. I think Miami's going to end up sweeping them 4 games straight.
Sweet?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, J3 coming back fine hard.
But you know what, J3? That doesn't sound crazy.
Sweet.
But the coach on the hot seat in Milwaukee, though, let's be honest.
Right, that's even more reason for them not to get swept.
Yeah, but
I can't see Giannis getting swept by any of these teams, not even Brooklyn.
Okay, so TV.
But they do have a neutralizer. They do have a neutralizer in Miami as far as Giannis is concerned. At least some resistance with Bam.
Okay. What was you gonna say?
Take Giannis out. And who does the Bucks have?
Holiday.
Who gonna step up?
Middleton and Holiday got to step
Not
way
Middleton.
up.
Not Middleton. Stop.
Who?
Stop.
You said what?
Y'all wrong.
Middleton is a poor man's Draymond. And you know how I feel about Draymond.
Y'all wrong. Y'all are wrong.
Middleton is horrible. He's not no.
Middleton reminds me of daggone playoff P. That's what he remind me of.
Oh well.
You ain't gonna see him.
Oh, I agree.
If the Wizards win tonight and get the number 7 seed, they will take Brooklyn to 6 games.
Yes. Guaranteed. I'm with you with that one. Yes.
Yeah. Now Boston will get swept, but Westbrook will find a way to win too, just because of his passion and energy. Philly, if Joel Embiid can stay healthy, Philly comes out of the East to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. 2 letters
On paper,
real small.
On paper, but Joel, I mean, has he ever really stayed healthy?
But now he only playing every other day.
But
he ain't traveling as much because of the playoffs, and I think he's ready to prove himself. The 4-5 seed games will be fun to watch.
Ooh.
The Knicks against Atlanta, but let's be real. Whoever wins that is just going to be roadkill for the Sixers in round 2. Because neither one of them have the Knicks don't have the size to deal with Embiid. I don't think Atlanta, while they have some size, I don't think Atlanta has enough. Great stories. Both teams played way above their head. But
Nate and Thibs got to be coach of the year consideration.
Yeah. Monty Williams won the coach of the year this year by the head coaches.
He should have
for Phoenix. But I agree with you. But
Knicks ain't going nowhere.
I think both of them teams are progressing, but they are ready for their next. They need a superstar. Both of those teams need a superstar to add them to push them to the next level. Let's talk about the Western Conference, and then we can go ahead and move on. Everybody disrespecting the number 1 seed Utah Jazz. They've been the number 1 seed in the NBA since like the second week of the season and have stayed there almost all season, got the best record in the NBA, and nobody talking about them to win the West. I just think that's disrespectful.
Well, Utah was good last year, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the issue with Utah is two things. I think the Lakers suffering the type of injuries that they did. I think that the Denver Nuggets suffering the type of injuries that they did. I think that the respect factor just was not there because I think the people looking at basketball was like, yeah, they won because of X, Y, and Z.
But they were winning before any of those teams had those injuries.
I understand that. Plus, the second issue is they're in Utah. They're Salt Lake City. So the national media is just not going to respect them for just because of that alone. Yeah.
Phoenix getting the number 2 seed in the West was nobody seen that. Monty Williams, the job he did, they were 8-0 in the bubble, didn't make it, but I mean that was huge. And now to come with the number 2 seed, and basically they got the same team as last year with the exception of CP3. Chris Paul has proven that when he goes to a team,
wherever it is,
they immediately can make the playoffs.
Phoenix has something to prove.
Yeah,
Phoenix has something to prove. They really did. I mean, after they played last year and they didn't make the playoffs like they should have, I mean, they just came back this year and said, look, we're going to be there, and this is where they at. So I applaud them. And I'm definitely not sleeping on them.
I agree. They're going to be an interesting team to watch. But they're going to end up playing most likely the Lakers in round 1.
Yeah, and that's
a tough ass.
That's a tall task.
That's a tough
ass. Tall task.
That's a tough
However, if they hungry enough and they want to win, you got to go through the Lakers.
Yeah. The 3-6 seed is going to be a monster. Denver against Portland.
Yeah, but when Jamal went down, I kind of got off the Denver bandwagon because the Denver was my second seed after the LA initially. But Jamal, I don't know if they can overcome that.
That hurt. But they done had the people they picked up at the trade deadline helped out. And I think they got the MVP of the season on that team. And we're going to talk about the Joker in a second. But I can't wait. I think that series goes 6 or 7 easy. And then let's talk about your LA Clippers.
Well, okay. All right.
They tanked the last 2 games of the season. They lost to Houston. And they lost to Oklahoma City. The last 2 games of the season. To make sure they didn't stay in the 3 seed because they thought that the Lakers were going to end up in the 6 seed. To drop down to the 4 seed to play Dallas, who took them 7 games in the bubble last season. You talking about disrespectful?
Yeah, but something's off with Dallas this year. I don't know what's going on with them. I mean, you know how I feel about my man. So you said he's the most overrated player in the league. Okay. I don't know. It's just something's amiss with Dallas. I don't know. They need something because Porzingis is just not a proper number 2. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it, and it's disrespectful, but I don't think there's anything Dallas can do about it. And the only reason I say that is because of the pickup, because basically the Clippers are kind of almost the same team, except they lost Montrez, I guess, to the Lakers. But the main thing they have now is they have Rondo. And so he makes all the difference in the world, particularly this time of the year. Because when playoff P starts being playoff P, he'll be like, I got this, man. Just sit back for a minute.
So Rondo will be able to shake him out of his out of his funk.
If Rondo would
and
be
get Kawhi to actually, show some energy.
Oh yeah. If Rondo was on the Lakers right now, they wouldn't be in the position they are in right now.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. I mean, that's a big gamble, though. Even if they beat Dallas, and I think Dallas will take them at least 6 games, if not 7.
Mm-hmm.
They went 7 games with them last year without Kristaps Porzingis in the bubble. Now, you can say it was the bubble, playoff P didn't want to be there and all that. Kawhi was still on that team.
That's true.
They had Montrezl Harrell. They had Lemon Pepper Lou.
Lemon Pepper.
They had ballers.
Yeah, but
and they went 7 with Dallas, and your boy Luka wasn't ready for prime time. I think Luka ready to show him something.
If he can keep his emotions in check.
Hey, the technicals got reset, so he got technicals he can get.
Okay, well.
Porzingis got something to prove. Is he worth that money, or are they going to try to move him? So, and even if you get by them, that means you end up with the number 1 seed. And they disrespecting Utah too?
Well, but see, Kawhi, Kawhi think he's that dude. He does. So Kawhi is like, I don't care who I got to play.
I feel you. I feel you. All right, real quick. Season ending.
So
go ahead.
So Big Red, real quick, Big Red. So you saying the Clippers have no chance of going deep in the playoffs? That's what you're saying?
Clippers got to prove it to me. Clippers have not shown me any way, shape, or form that they have the intestinal fortitude to dig down and win tough series. Paul George is great during the regular season, but when things get tough and they got to make shots, he disappears. He did it in Indiana. He did it in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
He's done it in L.A. And Rondo is going to have to be a huge vocal leader on that team because Kawhi don't talk. Their problem is they don't have on-the-court leadership.
Well, so now that they have a new coach, do you think that he'll have more of an influence on playoff Pete and Kawhi?
No.
Because Ty Lue is, that's not an upgrade from Doc Rivers. I don't care what anyone says.
I'm just asking.
And Ty Lue, yeah, he has LeBron gave him a ring, but no, that's
Ty Lue was on the staff last year, so let's be real. He was there last year. He was just 1 seat over, so if he wanted to say something, he could have said something last year.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not trusting the coach.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what happens. I'm staying optimistic. I like the Clippers, so let's see what they do.
So Steph Curry ended up leading the league and scoring 32 points a game. Right behind him was Bradley Beal at 31.3, Dame Lillard, Joel Embiid, and Giannis. Clint Capella of the Hawks ended up leading the league in rebounds, followed by Rudy Gobert. Russell Westbrook led the league in assists at 11.7.
I'm a Russell. You know how I feel about Russell.
Behind him, Trae Young, 9.4. Trae Young had a monster year that a lot of people talk about. Then you had Chris Paul at 8.9. Gobert led the league in blocks. So, who's your MVP this season?
The order. If it was me, Steph, Westbrook, the Joker, in that order.
Wow.
I like that. I like that.
I said it.
I like that.
Because no one expected Golden State to do anything, and Steph has just been outworldly. You know he's going to shoot, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't talk to him. You just explain that. You can't talk junk to him. You can't really guard him. You got to guard him at half court. They're now talking about 4-point shots.
You going to give the number 8 seed MVP?
Yes, because
why not? If he deserves it.
You're from the DMV. You saw what Westbrook did to that team, and I said he's second. I didn't give it to him. I gave
Steph's an 8 seed too.
Oh,
You're 1 and 2 are both 8 seeds.
Because no one expected anything from Golden State this year. When Clay went down before the season started, everybody thought it was over.
Who you got, J3?
To be honest with you, man, I'm a Warriors fan, so without a doubt, hands down, I'm going with Steph Curry. Everybody else don't even matter.
Okay, let me give y'all some hard numbers.
Uh-oh.
Nikola Jokic, a.k.a. the Joker,
Become red
played
bombs.
all 72 games, didn't miss a game. Steph missed 9 games. Your boy, Westbrook, I don't even have him on the list, but Westbrook missed at least 10 to 15 games this year. So, first of all, Joker showed up for every game. Joker lost Jamal Murray halfway through the season and still ended up number 3 in the West. Averaging 26.4 points a game, which is like 10th or 12th in the NBA this season. Averaging 10.8 rebounds a game, which is top 7 in the NBA. Averaging 8.3 assists per game as a center. So he had to orchestrate the whole offense. And everybody's trying to stop him. A man that can't jump, can't run. But yeah, he getting you 26, 10, and 8 with 1.3 steals a game.
Okay.
Stop.
So here's my rebuttal. The thing what I'm saying is this. Westbrook did everything that he did, except he averaged a triple-double. Joker almost averaged a triple-double. And I get you. What the numbers that Joker has is out of this world. No one's done. I mean, it's like almost impossible to do from his position. But if you look at the rosters, the Denver Nuggets have even without Jamal Murray, they have a far superior roster and people that surrounds Joker than Westbrook.
Westbrook got the number 2 scorer in the NBA with him. Stop.
And Bradley Beal,
a multiple-time All-Star.
He has one person with him, and he's been hurt.
Yeah, hold up, Red. You throwing out stats, but you acting like Steph Curry didn't do nothing. I mean, he averaged 32 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 5.8 assists, 1.5 steals. I mean, he did his job, and he brought his team to the playoffs.
I'm not taking anything away from Steph. If I was voting, it'd be Joker. My number 2 would actually surprise y'all, and I would give it to him just on what he did to change the team.
Yeah.
I would give it to CP3 number 2.
That's legitimate.
Chris Paul.
Wow.
Steph 3. My number 4 would be Damian Lillard.
I don't see Westbrook on your list.
Westbrook ain't on my list.
Wow.
Westbrook ain't played a good portion of the season. In the first half of the season, Westbrook wasn't that good.
Because he was overloading on mumbo sauce and wings.
Okay.
He had to get adjusted to the DC area.
Okay. I got you.
And some go-go music in the background. Don't sleep.
All right, real quick, and then we definitely got to move on, run a little along. Who you got Rookie of the Year? I think it boils down to two players. Anthony Edwards, who played 71 games this year for the Timberwolves. LaMelo Ball, an honorable mention is Tyrese Halliburton, but nobody even seen him play because he plays for the Sacramento Kings, so you never even saw them on TV. Who you got?
LaMelo, Halliburton, and then Edwards.
Wow. Who you got, J3?
Yeah, I would definitely say LaMelo Ball and then Anthony Edwards. Tyrese Halliburton, haven't seen him play, so I can't put him on the list. But I've seen the other 2 play.
So you're gonna give LaMelo Rookie of the Year even though he missed 22 games?
I don't need to see you play 80 games and know that you're better than that other dude I'm looking at.
Not only that. Look at how he contributed to his team. He made that team better.
Thank you.
When was the last time you heard Charlotte play in the playoffs?
I feel you.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But he elevated that team.
I got you.
The first player in the history of Michael Jordan to ever actually, seemingly pan out. Seemingly. We don't know 100%, but it looks like it's headed that way.
Wow. All right, let's take it to combat sports. UFC 262 was Saturday, and the main event, Charles Oliveira against Michael Chandler. For those who got a chance to see it, this was one of the craziest fights I've seen. Michael Chandler had 2 opportunities to finish Oliveira in the first round. He had him in a choke. Oliveira moved around a little bit and finally got out and got in the guard. And then he had him out on his feet, was punching him, looked like he was going to get the fight stopped. And Oliveira went to his back, got in guard, was able to hold him, got out the first round. Came out the second round and knocked this dude out in 47 seconds in the second round.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I love UFC. You don't have that in boxing. Somebody get dominated like that in a round, ain't no way they're gonna come out the next round and knock the guy out like that.
But do you think Chandler clearly would you consider that first round a domination?
Yeah.
Well,
he hurt him multiple times. Every time he looked like he landed a good right, you could see Oliveira stumble a little bit. He was hurting him on his feet. Why he engaged on the ground with him, I don't understand.
Right. And I just think that the first round, the way it went, I think Chandler blew it. I can't say that. I think Chandler his energy was gone. The amount of time that he spent on the ground, I just think that wasn't a sound. I don't think he had I don't think that he had a choice. But at the same time, I just think the amount of time that he spent on the ground with Oliveira was just detrimental to his health, as we saw in the second round. I feel you. I just don't think he had any energy left. I thought he had lost the fight in the first round, obviously.
Well, that sets up a huge possibility. UFC 264, which is July 10th, has the rematch of Dustin Poirier against Conor McGregor. And the winner of that will probably be the next opponent for Oliveira.
Well, McGregor's not going to win that fight.
Not the way he looked last time.
He got too much money.
And he just made more money.
Yeah, he
selling his whiskey.
Liquor.
He made $135 million. He made.
Yeah. McGregor needs to... I don't understand why he's still fighting.
I think he's trying to prove to himself, after being dominated the last two times he was in the ring. He was dominated the last two times he was in the ring. That he's not going to go out like that. Speaking about people that maybe need to think about, time to hang them up. In the co-main event, you had Beneil Dariush against Tony Ferguson. Everybody thought this was going to be another lightweight bomb burner. And that's wrong, Herman. That's wrong.
Right.
And Dariush just basically took him down each round, laid on him for 3 minutes each round, and easily won the fight. Tony Ferguson was supposed to be the boogeyman. He had an 18-fight win streak before he lost his first fight, and now he's lost 3 in a row, and they've been wipeouts, all 3 of them.
Yeah, but you're a huge fan of combat sports, Big Reg, and you've seen it many times where a fighter, whether they're in the octagon or a boxing ring, you've seen it many times where all of a sudden, they look good, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
It's gone, yeah.
And so that's probably what Ferguson is probably dealing with right now. It's just gone.
And it's time to walk away, because that's not a sport you want to mess with.
No, you will be. You
get hurt.
Yeah.
Speaking about getting hurt, the fight of the night was actually the first fight of the pay-per-view card. Edson Barboza against Shane Burgos. They went toe-to-toe, blow for blow, for 2 1/3 rounds. And the craziest thing I've ever seen, if you all haven't seen this fight, go on YouTube and check out Barboza Burgos and check out the ending. I mean, literally each one hurt the other one back and forth for the first 2 rounds. Barboza hit Burroughs. He hit him with a left jab, then followed up with a right and it hit him like in the jaw temple area. You see Burgos, he took a step back, stood still, looked like he was flexing a punch. And then all of a sudden, his body just quit. You gotta see it. He was standing straight up in a boxing stance, and you can see his legs just go, then his eyes crossed, and he ended up falling. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I've seen delayed knockouts in boxing for like a liver shot and everything.
Yeah.
This was like a 2-second delay. And Barbosa was just looking at him, and you could just see him say, his body say, look, if you're not smart enough to lay down, then we going to get up out of here. Crazy, crazy fight. So that they end up getting the fight of the night. That was a wonderful fight. And another old timer that probably needs to hang up his gloves in the prelim main event, Jacare Sousa, who's a former title contender and all that, he was fighting Andre Muniz, and this is a third degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Sosa. He allowed this guy to get him on the ground and get him in the arm bar, and he literally broke his arm. You heard it pop, and it was over. The referee heard the pop, tapping, was like, it's over. Sosa's lost like his last 2 or 3 fights. It's time. Dana White got the old era is gone. You got to phase these guys out. If they want to continue fighting, let them go to Bellator or the Professional Fighting League, something like that. But yeah, their time in UFC is over. But we got
I think very few UFC fighters walk away, particularly like the great ones. Every now and like every now and then you like Cormier, he walked away at the right time. But very few of these like the greats walk away when they should, because it's so UFC, everyone gets beat.
Right.
And so it's they always think in their head probably that, you know what, I can get him, because they accept losses as part of the game. So yeah,
your body can only take so many of those blows, and that's what you can see it visually happening. That shots that they used to take, they can't take anymore. And when you get to that, it's time to walk away. Next month, June 12th, UFC 263. Our man, the last style bender, Ariel Adesanya, back again in his rightful weight class. He's getting ready to fight Vettori their second time. That should be a good card. So for you UFC fans, look forward to that. If you're in the MMA, you can always then fight Bellator. You got the Professional Fighting Leagues. There's another option, but nothing as high as the UFC. Let's talk some boxing. Brandon Figueroa went toe-to-toe with Luis Neri, who was the WBC Junior Featherweight Champion. And in the 7th round, he hit this dude with a body shot. Looked like it was a perfect uppercut to the liver. One of those delayed. He took the shot, took a step back, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, that hurt.
Man, boxer's a fighter, whether you're a UFC fighter, a boxer, or whatever, a mixed martial, or a regular martial arts. Fighters are built different.
Yeah.
They're just built different.
Yeah.
Anytime you expose your body, your head to that type of punishment, you built different. Yeah.
So, that was a war. That's, if you're a boxing fan, Figueroa, Neri, if you can find that on YouTube or something, 6 rounds, toe-to-toe, 7th round, like I said, that body punch was ridiculous. That sets up a great fight. Unification bout that's already tentatively scheduled for September 11th. Stevie Boy Fulton was in attendance. He got into the ring afterwards, so they're going to try to unify the championship. So you got WBC and WBO champ going at it September 11th. Hopefully everything works out. This Saturday, a huge fight. And it's on free TV, everybody. ESPN, 9 p.m. You got Great Britain's Josh Taylor putting his 17-0 record and his WBC and IBF world titles up against Jose Ramirez, 26-0. who has the WBA and WBO world titles for junior welterweight unification. That's 140 pounds, all 4 of the major belts on the line. Winner is the top dog. Loser probably will ask for a rematch unless it's just a wipeout. This is a fight that you really, really want to see. The undercard looks pretty good, but definitely, I told y'all last week that fighting between PBC, Top Rank, Matchroom, you got a bunch of big fights coming week after week after week. We got another big week to follow in the week after that. So you boxing fans, look out for something. But also, we had a problem.
Good.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, good. I didn't like how all this went down. Go ahead. Go explain what you were talking about.
The Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua mega fight to unify all the heavyweight titles, which is scheduled for August 15th in Saudi Arabia, has just had a little wrinkle put in it. Yesterday, an arbitrator ruled that Tyson Fury must comply with Deontay Wilder's rematch clause and fight him by September 15th.
Well, I think good. I'm so happy this happened because following that defeat, everything, all eyes pointed towards a Joshua and Fury unification bout. But I think Joshua had to go through. He had to get his belt back first. He had to, Ruiz. But anyway, but Deontay was just like in the background, like they knew immediately after that fight that the Gypsy had to fight Deontay again, and it was like, I want bigger. It was like he was just pushed aside, like disrespected in a way. So I'm glad an arbitrator said, "Nah, dude, you can fight Joshua, but not before you fight him." I'm glad it happened like that. Now, whether or not Wilder's going to be successful this time, that's a whole different. I mean, we not getting into that.
He got knocked up.
Yeah, yeah. So,
but the question was it legal?
Well,
the Nevada State Athletic Commission said they tested his gloves after the fight and they were legal. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that the gloves were loaded, and that he was hitting them with his wrist instead of his fist.
But the issue was Deontay. We saw the fight. Deontay just didn't look, even before he got in there. He didn't look right.
Well,
nope.
Maybe he learned not to wear a freaking 75-pound outfit trying to be all fancy into the ring.
Well, that's true.
We will see. The arbitrator did leave a little glimpse of maybe they can work something out. He said that he does give Fury the option to negotiate an extension on that date if Wilder's willing to. So if they're willing to break Wilder off, let's say
how much?
They getting $155 million site fee to go to Saudi Arabia to fight this. $75 million guaranteed to each fighter.
So you gonna give me 25?
So if each fighter gives him $5 million, they give him
That's
$10 million. Listen to me, $10 million to let us have this fight.
Okay.
And then you get the winner.
Okay, I'll do that. I should listen. I'm sorry.
Because then you get a chance to fight for the unified.
Because I'd much rather fight Joshua than Fury.
Yeah.
Because I can't see Joshua beating Fury.
Only if he catches him.
Okay, yeah.
I agree. Only if he catches him.
Yeah.
So.
But Joshua's promoter is already talking like it's not going to happen. Because he's already looking into other fights for Joshua to take, which is crazy. But he's already looking for other fights for him to take with the idea that they can still get this fight in later on in the year.
Yeah, because they've already put the one of the mandatory challenges at bay, saying you'll get your opportunity once we get this fight. So if for some reason Fury has to fight Wilder, they don't want to risk losing one of the belts.
Okay.
By not fighting one of the mandatories. So that's what that's about. So we will see. Eddie Hearn, who's
that's
of Matchroom, said that he wants everything worked out one way or the other by the end of this week, next week at the end, because they got to figure this out so they can move on. Let's talk about some puck, fellas.
As long as we don't have to talk about Pittsburgh.
Rocking the red, baby. Rocking the red.
Oh, don't get into it. I'm going to talk about the red, but go ahead.
The NHL playoffs have been outstanding. The main reason, remember, we got this fluky season this year for the NHL where all the games were played in the division. Mm-hmm. So you had the four divisions, and you just played your division the whole season. Mm-hmm. So all of these teams have played each other 7 or 8 times. So you're not sneaking up on anybody. Mm-hmm. Out of the 6 games that were played so far in the NHL playoffs, 4 of them went to overtime. The 5th one was a 1-goal game, and only one was a blowout. And then they had one this afternoon, which ended up 4-2. The Vancouver Canucks beat the Calgary Flames, so that's another more than one. But other than that, each game has been back and forth. The Caps started off the playoffs on Saturday against the Bruins. They went back and forth for 3 periods. The Caps would score, the Bruins would score. Then the Bruins take the lead. The Caps came back. Finally ended up in overtime, and Caps end up winning in overtime game 1. But the issue is the health, especially their goalie. They were already missing their number 1 goalie, Samsonov, who's been hurt for like 2 months. And that's after they let their man, the number 1 goalie who won the cup for them, go this past season. And now the backup goalie, Vitek Vanacek, gets hurt in the first period of game 1. They got a 39-year-old guy who basically is the taxi squad goalie, the break glass in case something bad happens. You get this guy. He's usually drives to Zamboni doing the breaks as well.
Oh, wow. Stop.
In some teams, that's who he is. So you're down to your 4th goalie in a playoff run.
But they don't have any centers.
And they don't have any centers.
Regardless of the goalie health, which is the most important thing in hockey playoffs. But even saying that, they just don't have any centers left. I mean, everyone's playing out of position. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
We support the Red, hoping that they figure it out. But yeah, they're struggling. They are struggling right now. Game 2, they end up winning game 1. Yesterday, watching the game 2, there was some terrible calls in the second period of game 2 where it was obvious Bruin penalties, and they sent a cap to the box with the Bruins. They looked like they tried to keep it even the whole time. Caps score early in the third period, leading to 2.5 minutes left, give up a cheap goal again by their 4th string goalie, and end up losing within 43 seconds in the overtime. So,
yeah, Marchand is that beast, man. I mean, they put up the stat that he has 4 overtime goals this year, and I was dumbfounded because it's like the Caps lost him on the ice. He hit that wrister, that slap shot that ended the overtime, and I was furious because I could see it happening. It was almost like it was slow motion. I was like, he about to give it to Marchand, and that's exactly what happened. He slapped it right in. I mean, we got to give Anderson some credit because, like you say, he probably driving around the Zamboni and all that stuff, but he came in relief in game 1 and played lights out. You know, the Caps didn't give him enough defense, especially at the end of the third, where Taylor Hall got that cheap knock in because they had the scrum at the front of the net. I'm like, where's the defense? That should have never happened in that situation. They should have carried that 2-1 victory, you know, on away, but they gave it up. And I'm really irritated that the coaching wasn't better in overtime to make sure they knew where the high hand was for their overtime games. But I hear
I
you.
agree with you. But in that scrum, the Capitals defenseman actually knocked the Bruins player into the goalie, which knocked them out of position, which allowed them to score that goal. So, yeah, the defense got to straighten up too. But that's going to be an interesting series. But you're right. If they don't get somebody healthy at center, then the Caps got a problem. Because you can see the Bruins, they're targeting Ovi. They're like, somebody else going to have to beat us.
Right, as they should.
Somebody else, because he ain't going to beat us.
Right, as they should.
Okay, we got to talk about your Penguins, man.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
we're
can
gonna
sum
talk
this up.
about
I
that.
can sum this up in 30 seconds.
Okay. We're going to let you have the floor.
If Malkin does not play and he hasn't been healthy for 2 years, they're going to lose, because Pittsburgh is built on pure speed. The Islanders, on the other hand, they don't play a speed game. They're a check physical game. They're a physical team. Every year when Pittsburgh gets in the playoffs, this might be throwing more than 30 seconds. Every year recently when Pittsburgh has gotten to the playoffs, their speed has not been enough, because their number 1 and 2 and 3 lines, they just get worn out in the second, usually in the second period. The second period, by the third period, they're running on fumes. If Pittsburgh fails to win this game, and I think it's too late already, but if Pittsburgh fails to win game 2, it's over. Because they lost in overtime the first game, 4-3, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's over.
Yeah,
but they built. That's how they continue. They won't change the composition of their team. They continue to rely on speed, and speed is good if your second line and your third line is adequate. Pittsburgh's second and third lines is not adequate, and they have a bum goalie.
Yeah.
Their goalie that they should have is in Vegas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, fluid.
yeah.
Well, I'm definitely not one to defend the Pens because I can't stand them. But I think that we understand this team to be a gritty team. I think, their lineups might be lacking. But I think Crosby, Gaudreau, and Kapanen can do enough to make this a series. I'm still going to pick them to come out of this series, but I think the next round they're done. But I just feel like they still have enough firepower. Even though I know the Owls, they're a good team. I just think the Pens are going to get it done in this one, because I always love to see a showdown between the Caps and the Pens. So I guess I'm leaning more towards that and hoping that it gets there. But we'll see what they do in game 2, like Ed said, to see if they can actually climb out.
I don't know if that's a showdown that the Caps want to see, because they got them once, the Stanley Cup year. But other than that, the Penguins generally had a Caps number.
Yeah,
but you know what? I always want to see that matchup. That's like saying we don't want to see the Cowboys. I don't care how the two teams are playing. I always want to see that matchup. Yes.
We feel you. My favorite to come out the West was the Vegas Knights, but they kind of stumbled out of the box.
Did they?
End up losing in overtime to Minnesota Wild. But I think they're going to be all right. That's the first game. Marc-Andre Fleury had a little tough night. I mean, he only had 29 saves.
Yeah,
he needed
got outplayed. Yep.
Yeah, he needed to be in the upper 30s in order to make this thing work. So we'll be interested. I just think if Vegas can get through this first round, Vegas has been knocking on the door since they came into the NHL. Because remember, they were the expansion team the year the Caps won. So we're only talking 3 years ago.
I'm saying it on live right now. Colorado.
I hear you.
The Avalanche?
The bullies of the NHL.
I hear you. I hear you.
But check this out, Big Reg. The Wild have a 6-1-2 record against the Vegas Knights this year, so they ain't scared. And I think now in this playoff matchup, this is probably the matchup the Knights didn't want to see. They might get put out.
I agree. That's why I said they got to get out this first round. Sometimes teams have your number. You can be better than everybody else, but that one team, that's just like boxers. You can have some great boxers. They can beat everybody else, but it's just one dude that's just they just can't deal with.
Kind of like Indiana putting it on Charlotte right now, right?
Man,
they got their number.
Yeah, they up 27. Yeah, this is ridiculous. 29. I'm sorry.
Woo!
Yeah, it's looking like
It's over.
like a shoot around. Yeah, that's over. So, yeah, Charlotte had a good year. Michael Jordan, they're getting a little closer. So we will see.
I'm sorry, J3. I think I cut you off, brother.
No, you good, bro.
Tampa Bay Lightning, the defending champions that nobody's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think they ready too. So they had a 5-4 victory in game one. They had their co-captain who didn't play all season. Literally didn't play all season. Was coming back from a knee injury. Showed up game one of the playoffs, scored 2 goals and had an assist.
Yeah.
They had another player come back who was hurt most of the second half. So they ready to, they're trying to say Tampa Bay is the new title town.
Yeah, their game just started as well, too. Their game, too.
So it'll be interesting. Then you got your Colorado Avalanche.
They're going to watch. You'll see. They're going to win. They're going to win the Stanley Cup.
So for all you puckheads, we got some good stuff coming. Like I said, every game has been bananas. Almost all the games have been close into the third period, and most of them have gone to overtime. So enjoy the pucks. A couple of quick things we're going to hit. Caught our attention. WNBA had a banner start. Sabrina Ionescu hit a game-winning 3-pointer for the New York Liberties in the opening game against the Indiana Fever. She scored the last 8 points after struggling. Coming back from a knee injury. Former number 1 pick 2 years ago, doing her thing. And I got to give hats off to Diana Taurasi. I don't know how else to say it. She that dude.
That's right.
Oh, she's that girl, man.
She hit that Steph Curry joint.
Taurasi is a monster and been a monster for years.
Years.
Absolute first ballot Hall of Famer when she decides to retire. But yeah, she did that thing. Game-winning shot over the Minnesota Lynx. Shout out to Stewie, a.k.a. Breonna Stewart. Signed a multi-year shoe deal with Puma.
Nice.
Including getting her own signature shoe in 2022.
Yes.
Sweet.
She became only the 9th WNBA player ever to get their own signature shoe line. And the first in 10 years since Candace Parker got her own shoes. Hats off to the Hall of Fame class of 2020. Arguably the best Hall of Fame class ever. You had everybody. The top players were all two-way players. Kobe, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, KG, Tamika Catchings. Great group.
All champions.
All champions.
On all levels.
All of them were all defensive players as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And MVPs. So, yeah. Banner class. And then hats off to the class of 2021. 16 are going in. The lead ones are Paul Pierce, Chris Bosh, Chris Webber, Ben Wallace, and my man
C-Dub
from the Washington Bullets, Bobby Dandridge.
Wow.
About
Back
time.
in the day. So, yeah, they will get enshrined in September. So shout out.
It's a lot of former Wizards or Bullets on that list, right?
Yeah.
Ben Wallace, Chris Webber, Paul Pierce.
Yeah. And also, I'm sorry, I missed Yolanda Yo Griffith and Lauren Jackson of the WNBA, both champions. They also went in.
Nice.
All right, we're gonna skip the Kentucky Derby. Just let it be known, our boy Bobby Baffert has been banned out of the state of New York from running any horses.
And he should. He should have been banned 6 years ago.
I ain't know.
Yeah. So it's time for our post takes. Time for the professor to jump in and give us a little something about MLB.
All right, good evening, y'all. Y'all know I had to be on the ones and twos in the back, but let's get into these post takes for tonight. All right, so here we go, y'all. Jay Wills, you're going to like this if you're listening. Beware of the unwritten. MLB's constant battle with unwritten rules and the stain it places on the game. Here's number one. Don't steal bases. swing at a 3-0 pitch, or otherwise run up the score when ahead by a large margin. This is pro sports we talking about, right? Hey, if you are going to get smashed, you can always say no mas, throw in the towel, or quit. Since those things are not on the table, then stop whining and stop someone and finish the game. Take your lumps and get better. Everyone is getting paid, right? The problem with this rule is that there is plenty of chirping going on the field, and now I'm beating your butt and you want me to stop. Y'all need to cut that out. Number 2, don't steal bases or strut, come on, after home run when behind by a large margin. So what? Do you know how hard it is to hit a home run and steal a base? Some of these players have their kids watching, youth that idolize them, family, friends, etc. That home run hit may have been an incentive in their checks. As mentioned before, they're getting paid, right? How about just reminding them that they're losing and appreciate the excitement of the moment? Number 3, don't swing at the first pitch after the pitcher has allowed 2 back-to-back home runs. Say, what? I'm sorry, Skipper. Your dude does not have it tonight. Since you just got someone up from the bullpen, I'm going to try and make history off this cat because he is still pitching. If he gives me a duck, it's out of here. No apologies. Hit the shower, sucker. Number 4, don't show up your opponent. Again, we are in the pros. As much as pitchers act out on the mound, they shouldn't be upset when you stare at them, bat flip, or jump up and down like you just won Mega Millions. Make sure y'all play before it closes out tonight. Are these Major League Baseball players in some kind of silo? Do you watch other sports? Everyone celebrates. If you take that as showing you up, then make sure you lead by example when you have a good play, right? All right, number 5, throwing at hitters is the conventional retaliation. Now, in all seriousness, this is the rule that baseball needs to have written in stone that it will not be tolerated. If it is deemed that a pitcher threw at someone on purpose, they should be suspended for a year with no pay. If you throw at someone's neck or head, your career should be over with hearings and everything. A baseball is a projectile thrown at alarming speeds. Will it actually take someone dying for there to be change? If you have a problem and you want to retaliate, then just meet at the mound and do it hockey style. Or these days, just call up one of these fluky governing bodies in combat sports and settle it in the ring. You still will make a little money that way too. Right, knuckle up. Number 6, don't step on the pitcher's mound. I mean, does this get any more whack and sensitive than this? Does the pitcher own the mound? Does he drag that sucker in and out of the ballpark? Are his ancestors buried under that mound? I mean, really, stop it. Do you really need superficial things like that to get you fired up to throw a pitch or a no-no? You don't even own the field you're playing on. Just do your job and stop using ridiculous unwritten rules to soil the game. Baseball is already slow and without much excitement. You all are feigning mad because some rule was broken that you don't even really believe in, like believing in Santa Claus, and mad because he didn't leave you a PlayStation under the Christmas tree. Knock it off. And lastly, wearing your baseball cap backwards. Just like my favorite all-time player and Hall of Famer, Ken Griffey Jr. said, the kids play. If that does not put a twisty tie on all of this, I don't know what will. Thanks, KGJ, for playing the game the right way and reminding folks that you all get paid to play a kid's game. Peace. Back to you, Big Red.
Yeah, and about that baseball and throwing at people. Just yesterday, Mets player Pilar got hit by a pitch in the face.
See?
Got multiple fractures in his navel cavity area because of that. So, yeah.
Yeah, knock it
Didn't
off.
Bryce get hit this year? Didn't Bryce get hit?
He always get hit.
Yeah.
I saw a player have his hand broken the other day. Yeah, you can't be playing with them baseballs. If you hit somebody wrong, you're right. If you don't kill him, you can injure them so much that they can end their career. So yeah, they need to cut that out. Them unwritten rules. The only place that they follow those unwritten rules is here in the U.S. If you go watch baseball in almost any other country, it's a game, it's a concert. They go wild in the stands. They got drums, everybody laughing. The guys flipping their bats 300 feet in the air. They even have at their All-Star games bat flipping contests. But here, we don't play that way. They need to stop it.
Yeah, they do. They really
They
do.
need to stop it.
And that's why the popularity of baseball is what it is.
That's why it's dying.
Thank you. That's
No one wants to watch a baseball game on TV until October.
Right.
Exactly, because that's when it all goes down.
Now attending a baseball game is a good thing to do, but watching it on TV, if you're not a hardcore fan, you're right. Thank you, J3.
Even at the ballpark, Ed, if you ain't with your buddies and having a good time, just sitting there watching that is.
Yeah. So they got problems. They
Or playing hooky from work. I never did that.
Let me find out you be up in Camden Yards.
No, I be down in Washington.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all got a better stadium.
Yeah.
Better food. They got better food.
Yeah, food is
Well,
outstanding.
if you're going to go to a baseball game, one thing I will recommend, if you're going to do it, got to go at least club level.
Oh, well, Dick, that
No.
takes me out of this situation.
No. We can do it.
Once you go club level, you ain't going to just
ruined,
go
though.
upstairs.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're gonna ruin though.
It's a different experience. All right, it is time for us to get out of here. It's time for our final post of the evening. Why don't we start out with the returnee, our man J3. What you got for us, J3?
I just want to say it feels good to be back. I got a couple of shout outs. First of all, my niece graduated from North Carolina Central. Congratulations to her. And we got another graduation. We got another graduation, a nephew who's graduating next Tuesday down in Georgia. And then followed by my little cousin who's graduating from St. Charles High School next Friday. So just want to congratulate everybody for graduating, and they're all honor roll students. So I'm real happy about that.
Fantastic. What you got for us, Ed?
Hey, everything's opening back up. Everybody's rules are being relaxed. Hey, just using an abundance of caution and a little common sense. It's good to be back in the chair this week. That's all I have. Everyone be safe out there. Thanks for tuning in.
Professor.
Yeah, I'm just glad to see J3 and Ed back on the show. Just want to remind everybody, be thankful. Tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know when the last time will be the actual last time. Just try to have fun, live life, but like Ed just said, just be responsible. We're not completely out of the woods, but just really be there for one another. It's so important because so many people are struggling and leaving out of here without knowing that someone actually cares about them and loves them.
Excellent point. I'm going to end this week on sports because I got to shout out. We ain't talked a lot of Major League Baseball, but what Shohei Ohtani is doing, Major League starting ace pitcher who is leading the major leagues in home runs with 13 home runs this year. He hit one out. He hit one out yesterday that was shoulder level, way out of the thing. He cranked that joker out 450 feet straight away center. A pitcher.
Nice.
He's pitching, DHing, and every now and then they'll stick him in the field. So he is, as they call him, the second coming to George Henry Babe Ruth. Two-way player. He can strike you out, and then he going to come up to plate, and if you throw him a bad pitch, he going to take it out the yard. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's the man.
Nice.
Leading the major leagues in home runs as a starting pitcher.
And he's coming back from major surgery last year.
Yeah.
So that's even more impressive.
Yeah. Dude is amazing.
Earning that paycheck. He earning that paycheck.
There you go, J3.
Yeah. Not only is he earning it, he can get a monster deal. I could see them eventually taking him out of the pitching rotation
They should.
and putting him in the field because that bat is ridiculous.
Yeah, they should.
His bat is ridiculous. All right, folks. That is the show for the evening. As always, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in and listening. We appreciate your time and opportunity to share our positions on sports with you. We're here each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. for our live show. My fellas are back. J3 back home. I can't wait till we have 3 or 4 of us in studio all together. Really get this energy up hype. We appreciate y'all. If you can't catch the live show, which you can catch on our YouTube channel or Facebook page, you can catch replays on both of those options. Positions on Sports Talk Show. You can also hit us up on our Twitter at Positions on SPO1. Check us out. And if you're a podcast fan, guess what? Go to your favorite podcast platform, put in Positions on Sports Talk Show. We're there too. However you want to take us, we're there for you. If you have suggestions, send them in. We'd love to hear from you. Again, we're here each and every Tuesday. Plus, we got some special shows coming in the near future. I think we're going to do another boxing show soon. And then as we see fit, when we want to talk about serious things like mental health awareness, which May is Mental Health Awareness Month, which we did back in the end of April, or other things, we'll let you know about that. So again, thank you for tuning in this evening. Professor's got one more thing.
One more thing, Big Reg. Let them know about our Facebook group that we started too. So if they get an invite, join in.
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, I meant to thank you, Professor, for setting that up. We actually just opened up invitation only. Professor, if you want to be in the group, hit us up on our regular Facebook page. But we started a Position on Sports Talk Show Facebook group. So it allows us to interact with the fans, with people who are really into sports. We can go back and forth, chop it up, because if y'all could see some of our internal text change, y'all would. So we allow you to see some of that inside stuff that goes on. So check it out. Look forward. And again, be safe out there. Just because they say everything's opened up and it's good, we still in the pandemic, people. Have a safe week. Peace.
Peace.
God bless.
See ya.